And I think Zeus can also be good against Ursa. It's a little... it's a kind of awkward matchup where if Ursa gets the jump on Zeus, you just die. But later in the game, if Ursa doesn't have BKB, like you pointed out, if you have the Nimbus and you have the stun talent on Lightning Bolt on level 20, these stuns and this like constant slowing down of Ursa can be really annoying. And you can force him to enrage really early on in fights too, because of your insane burst. So he can't really play around it the way he wants necessarily.
Mind Control got some stacks of retaliate at the tower, which is, you know, pretty common thing. My question is, how many do you stay for? Why did he only stay for 3?
Because if you take...
You don't have time to go back to base?
If you take 3, you will have pretty much exactly full health when the creep waves meet.
I see. So it's just more of a base regen type thing. Okay.
If you look at him now, he's regenerating 3 per second, so in 40 seconds he'll be full health, and in 40 seconds it's 25 seconds. So that means
their math is just out of this world. I can't even believe
perfect.
Yeah. Well, they know, of course, he does have retaliate, so he can't really contest this bounty room. I mean, he can just walk up to it, I suppose.
Just be a little annoying to DNZ here.
Know your place.
It's going to be a split of bounties. By the way, I wanted to mention... I really like the changes to this patch in terms of giving these heroes that pretty much have had to buy Blink Dagger every single game and giving them an option not to do so, right? You talked about Ursa. I mean, it doesn't replace it entirely, but just the idea of having a little bit more mobility on a hero like that. And Sven as well, who's the biggest kiting hero of all time. And Magnus, which we haven't really seen that much of, surprisingly, in this specific qualifiers, despite being... You and I both thinking his Agnes is completely overpowered. The point I'm trying to get to, Cinderin, is that Centaur's next on the list. Stampede does not count as a mobility, okay?
Oh, okay.
That's a team mobility.
Okay.
He needs Hoof Stomp needs to have something attached to it, or Double Edge.
I think Hoof Stomp should be changed to work like Earthshaker Ags, so you can just click on the ground where you want to jump over and stomp.
Yep, that's 100%.
That's what Centaur needs, yeah.
Agreed. Who do you like in this mid lane? All things considered equal, just hero versus hero, Zeus, Tinker.
I think in the first 2 levels, Tinker is favored, but then when Zeus gets Lightning Bolt level 2, he can start harassing very hard. And it looks like Miracle's taking some advantage here in the beginning. Don't know if the choice of going... it's probably still better to go Lightning Bolt. It actually only costs 10 more mana than Arc Lightning by now, so... Deals more damage to the single target you want to CS, so looks fine.
Miracle's salving up now. A tried old and true matchup, Zeus versus Tinker. Looking forward to... I feel like they counter each other in some ways, depending on the game state. But looking forward to that Nimbus for sure. Do you think that... I know Weehaw very well, but the rest of the players I just know from kind of afar. Do you think yesterday's loss was a wake call, or do you think they kind of brushed it off? Do you think that they were maybe a little overconfident today? And again, not to take anything away from Vikings because they played really well, but
I don't think they were overconfident. I just think they still need more time to adjust to the patch. And something we didn't notice or mention in this game, rather, is that they chose to put Miracle mid. We didn't even talk about that. It's Miracle playing the Tinker and Weeha's playing Ursa. So maybe that's what they think the adjustment needs to be. Perhaps, like what you talked about yesterday, compensating for Weeha's arguably biggest weakness, which is his laning stage. I don't know if I would fully agree with that, but it definitely seems like he's probably not as good a laner as Miracle is. I think that's probably fair to say.
Well, looks like
other things going
Roach actually gets first blood in first before the Ursa goes down. And Joe's actually going to be chasing Kuroki here. Only 60 HP. Can Kuroki juke? It's going to be a couple right clicks, and Hestejo will finally get that last hit. Weehaw, in the meantime, jumping up ahead a little bit. Just a couple more right clicks to go. The kinetic field will be enough to save good old Hestejo. So a 2 for 1, but first blood still goes the way of Team Nigma.
I went to the Venge. I think you're overall pretty happy with that as Singularity. You have enough regen on you to still stand your ground here. They had an extra salve. The Disruptor currently sitting on 7 mangoes. So he can keep spells.
This is such a hilarious spell to look at now. With this this Earth Shock jump. It's like a little...
I need to play Ursa. It looks so fun to play.
Yeah, he's been pretty much like stagnant as a hero, I feel like, for a very long time, other than that one change to his ult a long time ago. But very one-dimensional in a lot of ways, but I feel like this spices things up for sure. But yeah, going back to your point about Weehaw playing the Ursa, I mean, when I say he has a weak laning stage, this was at TI 6, so
Right.
I really don't know how much has changed. He's obviously everybody's gotten better over time. But you're right, Miracle has got to be the best one of the laners in the entire world. Weehaw's going to get initiated on inside the kinetic field. To Joe, looks like he'll get that kill, and
They are
Kuroki
totally underestimating the enemy team in this lane. They're just diving into the tower against Disruptor Legion Commander.
Oh, Kuroki!
Fortunately for Kuro.
Gets killed by the neutral creep.
If you're playing Ursa and you're losing your lane to Legion like this, that is not a good look. It obviously depends on the supports as well, right? Like the Venge 5 is not the strongest support partner you can have in the beginning in this lane. And they are facing a pretty strong lane, but similar to what we talked about with yesterday, I feel like they're kind of choosing a lot of their deaths themselves on just over-aggression instead of respecting the power of the enemy lane.
I think maybe part of that is just what we talked about, getting used to the patch and whatnot. Perhaps overestimating the heroes or underestimating the heroes of the other Legion Commander was not changed Miracle, as I can remember.
Getting a lot of damage in mid.
Died. This is going to be close, but Miracle with that DD rune doing complete work. It's been like 27-10 to 16-2, not even remotely close.
Yeah, I don't think this lane is this Tinker favorite, but Miracle has probably just outplayed Excalibur here, even getting the the kill as well.
Down to the Thunderstrike. My goodness. Of course, Thunderstrike was changed recently to provide a attack speed slow and a move speed slow, I believe, but it's only lasted 1.1 seconds, I want to say. But it is
like
actually
a micro purge.
It's noticeable though. Like when I first read it, I'm like, eh. But then when you see it, like actually that's considering it procs so many times, especially with, I believe he has a talent as well to get extra procs for it. Yeah, about 20. Can pass up 180 gold per minute. I don't know.
You take GPM every time so you can get your axe.
Yeah. Excalibur bottles a regen rune. He is 1 level behind Miracle at the moment. And GH is actually in the enemy jungle. Can't get the neutral items yet. That starts occurring at 7 minutes. Weehaw and Kuroki looking to get aggressive on Hesta Joe, but mid lane looks to be the real action-packed area right now. As Miracle, with help from GH, looks like they're going to be able to get Excalibur. No, it's going to be really close. But Miracle goes down first. Zeus actually lives, and the glimpse back, GH will fall as well. This required Zitrax on the Terrorblade and pretty much the entirety of the team, other than Legion Commander, in that mid lane.
It is going to cost them quite a lot to do this, as Mind Control will be banging on the top tower with 11 stacks on Retaliate, so you save your Zeus and you get 2 kills, which is really good. But if they lose this tower, I don't think it was worth it. Somebody has to defend. You see the spam pings coming out from DZ, but since everybody TP'd for that more or less, nobody is here to be able to defend this. And I think, in the grand scheme of things, I think Nigma are pretty happy here. They got a full tower. Okay, control. Oh, hit it, buddy.
He just looked at it. I'm gonna watch your tower fall. That's how fucking badass I am. What is the timing? Oh, it looks like we might have some action in the bot lane. Thunderstrike onto Weehaw. Glimpse is not available for another 5 seconds. Actually has 2 levels in that right now. But Hesta Joe doing quite well in this lane. Might even chase Weehaw. So at half HP at the moment. There's gonna be TP support in the form of GH. Weehaw's gonna turn the aggression. Stampede is popped. And the kinetic field is beautifully placed. Weehaw taking additional damage from the Thunderstrike, attempting to get out with that Earth Shock. Smoke was popped for whatever reason, but they're going to find the Weehaw kill first. Kuroki gets dueled. Do they have enough to actually kill him for the damage? Doesn't look to be the case. But I do believe that he will fall one way or the other. Although there is some TP coming in from our Centaur boy.
Just nuke
Kuroki.
Him, just nuke him.
Yeah, overwhelming odds.
Saving the nuke.
Available, saving that for the creeps here. Mind Control gets a double hoof stomp, but the Inkswell does delay the damage coming out. And finally, Team Nigma will find at least 1 kill on the deny on the tier 1 bot.
Yep. So trade-off there in terms of tower towers. Now they both teams lost the safe lane tower, but obviously Nigma getting the deny. In this patch, let's remember, that splits the gold, right? So Nigma got half the gold of their own tower, and half the gold went to Singularity, whereas in the previous patch, all of the gold just disappears.
Another nice quality of life change, I feel. It felt really bad as the enemy team getting your tower denied. Good lord.
Yeah.
Top lane.
Top lane, GH is definitely dead. The question is how much he can do.
How much
here.
dead? That's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, meta for that.
They're gonna pop
Okay.
meta.
Guess he wants to hit the tower then.
Trusty shovel picked up by Miracle, it looks like. We'll pick it up. I hear a duel. It's going to be on Ursa, and Weeha dies again. Maybe he got Glimpse. No, Glimpse is off cooldown. I'm not sure what he's doing on the other side of the river, but there's quite a few deaths for our boy Weeha. Kuroki, in the meantime, press the attack, taking off the magic missile. And that is going to be yet another kill for Singularity. 11-4 in their advantage. They don't really have a huge net worth lead. It's only about... It's less than 1,000 right now.
Yeah. But the issue here is how bad Ursa's game is, I think, because the gold difference is one thing. The Radiant supports are richer than the Dire ones, and that's why the gold looks even. But Ursa's game is bad, and this hero is notoriously not good at playing from behind. It's a very snowbally by nature hero, and yeah, he's got trouble. The good news for Nigma, though, is Tinker is having a fantastic time, and this hero counters Terrorblade very well. The primary reason they picked the hero this game is, of course, that Terrorblade. But he will have problems on his own dealing with both Zeus and Disruptor. Actually, Glimpse can be quite problematic for Tinker in multiple ways.
Yeah, they have a lot of ways.
Oh, they're doing a smoke here. Zitrax.
Triple smoke. Zitrax doesn't have meta. Does have Sunder, though. You can see these come out from the Grimstroke, and they're just going to turn this around completely as Weeha, I believe. I want to say that's his 5th death. We'll check here in a second. As Kuroki's going to get glimpsed back into Death's arms. Question is, who's going to get the last hit? It's going to be Grimstroke this time around. And Weeha has died 6 times. Whew. Yeah. Really rough start. And that was in the safe lane. It's not like it was a mid.
Yeah, they feel like they need to force these moves, I guess because the Terrorblade is farming so much, the pressure of needing to invade. But I don't think you want to do that without Centaur. I think he's the one who needs to frontline. He needs to get... They're so close to a strong timing here. Mind Control almost has a pipe, and that's a big difference maker in these fights. And they're fighting without him. Oh, Weeha's game, man. Oh, no.
Yeah, that glimpse is... Oh, God. At least he has the cowboy hat, though. That's the most important thing. Now, I don't believe, and I could be wrong on this, I don't believe Earthshock will... be able to cancel. It's not like a... Can you blink? You know, if you time it correctly? No kind of blinks?
No.
Okay, so never mind. Only Manta, like a very, very tight timing?
Yeah, you can invulnerability dodge it, right? I think that's it. So Manta style, Phantasm, Mirror Image. Within the transformation time, you can do it. Those are the only things. And of course, magic immunity.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about this Ursa build? Like, I'm not convinced that you can build Ursa like this and be happy with it in most cases, because
he likes
maybe I don't think he can sustain the mana to use it for farming, and now he doesn't have overpower, which could have probably helped him a lot in the laning stage. In these fights that they chose to take, I think a 1-1-1 build might have been a lot better than 2-0-1 that he went for. Getting those 4 extra hits would have been...
I have yet to see an Ursa in this patch. Like, how does this scale now, Earthshock? Does the blink...
Lower cooldown, much stronger slow, and a bit of damage. I'm not sold here. It's easy to say that when he's 0-6, right? Then anything can look bad. But maybe he feels forced to do it now, just to try to ramp himself back up, and he will buy clarities to have a non-stop mana flow and just farm with Earthshock. Maybe that's what he's going for.
Oh boy.
But again, the hero is snowball, and if you lose your lane, you're not happy.
Oh, he's running away this time. The glimpse brings him back into the kinetic field and static storm. Nice swap, though, from Kuroki. He's going to be the first to fall. Nice sacrifice for him. Excalibur might be next on the list, though. It's a 1-for-1.
There's the duel to Ursa.
And the damage goes to Ursa. Much needed for Weeha, as the chase is now on. Stampede has already been expended. Weeha able to get through the kinetic field. Earthshock, that stroke. And just like that, Weeha gets a triple kill. You talking shit, Cinderin? About that build? Huh? triple
Was
kill.
that the build doing it though?
His team helped quite a bit.
He needed that so badly. I think he's been planning from minute 0. He's like, I'm gonna make Legion think Legion can win a duel against me, and then I'll get 10 free damage for the rest of the game.
LOL. Kuroki. Oh, it's gonna get cancelled here.
He's in trouble.
And Excalibur. Well, Tinker's here for some support. Mind control as well.
Zeusult would kill right now, right? Why is he holding it? I think that was a kill.
Is it still a kill? No.
250 plus 6% of current health. That would have been like, yeah, Kuro was just flat out dead if they Zeus ultied after the press.
That was interesting.
Miscommunication perhaps?
For the next fight. Does have a keen optic. Pretty solid item for
Super good on Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah. Really good.
Blink Dagger still being worked on for Hesta Joe. I'm actually a little bit surprised at his lack of farm, honestly, based on how this game has been going. I feel like did they not crush bottom as hard as we thought? Because his farm is...
He just doesn't have that many
impressive.
CS. That's the problem. Like, he has 4 kills, but only 44 CS to the 70 of Ursa. They've been kind of brawling non-stop, but you can't give up completely on hitting creep. I don't think you just only let Terrorblade farm, right? Like, look at the CS numbers for both teams. These dire numbers don't look good, except for Terrorblade. In a 15-minute game, that's very low on the other two cores. So
you don't see that too often in a game that, I mean, Team Nigma has just had a 2k lead, now it's 1k, but based on how this game has gone, I think they're going to be super happy. Based on the fact that it is 7-15 and you are leading with that deficit. Pretty nice.
That's always easy for us to say, but do they feel it in the game?
Right.
I think that's kind of an overlooked aspect a lot of the time, where casters will be like, why aren't they just pushing? That's a good kill.
With the laser, that is a huge kill, as Zitrax has to go back to the fountain.
I think that kill gives them confidence. If you put them on the spot right now, you pause the game and ask them, what do you think the gold status is? I don't think Nigma thinks they're ahead on gold. Maybe they do. Maybe they have a different read, but in this position and how the laning stage went and the number of towers down, I wouldn't be surprised if they think they're trailing a little bit. At least if you notice their early plays in the enemy jungle, right, where they smoked in as 3, it looked like we need to get something done here. We're in trouble. That was the kind of smoke that looked like to me. But they were actually pretty stable. They were okay. There's a lot of... How to say, when you observe games, there's a lot of option that is not available to the players. Sometimes you'll be like, the way they move on the map doesn't make sense, but you always have to remember they only see their own fog. And when they make calls on whether to fight or not, they don't know if the enemy team has buybacks, they don't know the gold status, they don't know if the enemy team's close to items. All of it is just feel in the game. And sometimes you don't feel the right thing. So...
Weehaw was not feeling it early, but now he is. Basher, ready to go. So we'll see how effective this build is going to end up being. Of course, now does have 1 level of overpower. So the Zeus ult has been primarily used as a scouting device, which has been pretty effective overall. They stopped a couple smokes, or at least 1 at this point. But Miracle doing miracle things in the fact that he is top of net worth and by a very sizable margin.
Yep. He was involved on the Terrorblade kill and he got the last hit, so that's a really big swing. With the core he's competing against dying and him getting the kill, it's a big relative change. Getting those 40 seconds of free farming time as well. So, yeah, Miracle's game's looking great, and the question now is, will Singularity be ready to deal with this Tinker? It looks like Excalibur is going for Yules first before Ags. And I don't know if I like that here, because, again, we've talked a lot about tempo in this patch, and it feels like you will need this Ags flat out to win the game. You will probably need this item. And then do you think you can win the game at that stage, or will you get overrun by Tinker's timing that's coming pretty soon? Oh, Miracle got Pupil's Gift. This item incredible on Ursa. I really think he should pass it over. Strength and intelligence on Ursa is amazing.
Weehaw has Essence Ring, which I don't think is a good item on Ursa. Takes up half his mana pool to use, essentially. They're gonna smoke up.
They're gonna give it to Kuro for now.
Okay.
I think he and Weehaw should swap items, but maybe the mono regen feels really nice for Ursa too. So
I guess with People's Gift, he could use Essence Ring with no issue. That extra mana capacity. Well, they smoke up just forward. It doesn't look like they're actually going to pursue any action here. They're happy just farming. Of course, with Miracle having all these items at this moment, can just be all over the map, as is the case with pretty much any Tinker that has top net worth. What do you think of like the late game perspective from both sides here? Tinker versus Terrorblade. Tinker would have to get, I assume, would get Ags at some point to fight this Terrorblade once he gets pretty big. What's that?
He will get Ags eventually, yeah. I think the Dagon choice is probably better, though. Again, the flow of the game right now, there will be some serious bursting fights coming up in the next 5 minutes, and I don't think the Ags is necessary to deal with Terrorblade yet. His illusions will not be that big of a problem. They have a lot of AoE damage to clean them up. It'll be problematic when he gets a Scotty on Terrorblade, but for now he can go for Dagon, build up for the single target burst. Flat out who I favor later, I think it's honestly kind of hard to say. Terrorblade's always that kind of late game wild card who can just win seemingly every game under the right conditions. Oh, they found that GH, he's very dead.
They sure did. And this is at close to the 20-minute mark, so they will be getting this bottom outpost. Yep. The top is controlled by Team Nigma, so it'll be a trade of sorts. 5v4 if they actually want to fight here. Zitrax still has his Metamorphosis. Stump's going to start off into a double edge, into a magic missile. He's going to get close. Sunder keeps him healthy for a little bit longer, but he dies shortly after. Soulbind has been commenced, or has been used onto Weehaw and company, but they're relatively healthy. Of course, they lost the Rubik before that fight, so the only thing they've lost is their position 5 Kuroki.
There is so much damage coming out of the region right now. He got his Sunder off and he still died to 3 arrows.
Well, Sunder got him to half HP, to be fair.
Yeah, did he have a good Sunder target outside of the one he chose? Or I mean, he was full panic mode. He was 5% HP. He had to Sunder whatever he could reach.
Yeah.
But I think he got surprised by how quickly they could burst him down. This huge magic damage from Centaur, Tinker combined almost blew him up. I think that was a Dagon reveal, or did he just buy that now?
I'm not sure.
That is definitely a surprise, right? You get that extra 400 magic damage nuke that you didn't account for coming out of nowhere.
Right.
If that was online there. But now they definitely know it, because he just Dagoned Hestejo top. If it was a reveal, then Singularity are now aware.
Kuroki is going to continue to hold on to this People's Gift thus far into the game.
Why are there much vampire fangs on Disruptor?
What? Is it for the night vision?
Well, anybody has night vision. Don't you give these to a core? It's a really good core item. Spell, lifesteal, and lifesteal.
It's the only thing I can think of.
I think it's very true, I guess. The night vision glimpse is nice.
It's only 250. Is that really? That feels like it's not a huge
Everything
amount.
adds up. But I think the lifesteals are largely wasted on this hero. Like, Spell Lifesteal on Zeus can be really good because he does so much damage, he can actually stay alive. It can be the difference maker. And for Terrorblade, regular Lifesteal is also amazing. And on LC, it's a bit of both, right? He uses both damage types.
If you're running out of inventory slots, it would make a little bit more sense, I suppose, but it's still relatively early on. I mean, would you take that over, I mean, obviously over Null Talisman, but over Keen Optic is the question. Is a 75 cast range, 1 mana regen better for Zeus specifically right now?
He had an empty slot before. I think the Vampire Fangs are better than a Staff of Wizardry or a Null. So he doesn't have slot issues right now, right? Because I would say the Optic is better than at least a
He is
Null.
going for Ags now, by the way, so did finish the Yules. I mean, he'll have this at relatively okay timing. It's not like they're going to lose in well, I shouldn't say that. Last time we cast this team.
Like, oh man, this is going great. 5 minutes later.
Yeah. Well, they're down by 4K. So that's maybe a good sign for Singularity. That means they will not lose this time.
Oh, what do you know? Very hard to predict, I would say.
I'm so confused by this. Like, he never has mana.
Well, it takes a lot of mana regen.
Yeah,
he needs the mana regen to farm with Earthshock. He's not using the active. He just wants the passive components of it.
Okay. That makes sense.
I think it's actually helped.
I guess the mana regen is actually, even at 2.5 is decent.
He has a talent that does 3 as well.
Oh wow.
Spam his spells with this. It's nice.
That is pretty dirty, actually. Well, unfortunately for Singularity, they were not able to find anybody here. And of course, the agent is going to Weehaw himself. Well, Looks like we're gonna have a Stampede initiation. Kuro in a little bit of trouble. Swaps out. Rax pops the BKB. Soulbind onto 2 into the double silence, actually. And it looks like this Disruptor ult was also used, but only on the Rubik as Weehaw attempting to get out of dodge. It's a 1-for-0 right now. Make that 2. Weehaw pops his BKB. I believe it's a 10-second one. Legion Commander gets a duel off. Will they be able to get the actual kill? It doesn't look like it's going to be the case, but it's a double kill regardless for Zitrax. A little bit delayed. Weehaw on the run. Pops his Essence Ring. I was completely wrong about this item. Mind control now.
Weird spot.
Sees the Disruptor. See if they can actually find this kill or not. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. The mind control might be in some trouble, though. Excalibur's here. And yeah, this will be an easy cleanup for Singularity. So a 4 for 1.
Okay. All right. He's getting out. His haste turn.
Your failure lives on.
All right. Well,
that was
you were right. Singularity are behind, so they're going to get an amazing fight out of nowhere. Yeah. It seems to me that whenever Nigma try to make an offensive maneuver into the enemy jungle, it gets punished. They basically forced a fight onto the enemy shrine, and even though they have this Ursa Aegis, they couldn't really get on top of the heroes the way they wanted. They swapped the Terrorblade. I think the BKB was fresh, so maybe they were not aware that Zitrax could pop that on the swap, and got punished in a big way with these TPs coming in on the shrine and just overwhelming them with all their spell damage so far. So,
and that's without Ags on Zeus, Cinderin. Just wait until that happens, my friend.
Do you know if the Nimbus Lightning Strike on... I'm assuming the Nimbus Strike on Soulbind also does 2 bolts.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I would say no, actually, but I don't know for sure. That's a good...
What is the wording on Soulbind? Isn't it just all single target spells? Any auto-targeted ability... Oh, sorry, any unit targeted ability that either bound hero receives also gets cast on the other hero. Is that a unit targeted? I think it's ground cast, right? I don't know. It's a kind of a...
I mean, the question is Zeus, is the Nimbus literally the same as Lightning Bolt? Is it exactly the same? Because if it is, then yes, it would have proc twice. But for some reason, I doubt that's how it works. But who knows? Nimbus is pretty fucking OP. So... I mean, it's probably the best thing that's ever been added to Zeus in his history in Dota. Would you disagree with that, Cinderin? Don't you dare disagree. It's an amazing
if you go back to Dota 1 history, I think Static Field was a really big upgrade. That's like
I only
14,
remember him
50,
with Static
50,
Field.
Maybe. That was a pretty big buff. Back in my day.
Nice flex.
You're older than me. I can't even use that one.
Well, you were playing Dota before me. Slightly. Only probably like by a year, I would say.
Yeah.
If even that.
I think I started
Joe getting chased by Weehaw. He's going in real deep here. He has an Aegis. He's taunting now. Playing the Tamper. Oh, he's going to get Glimpse. He does have BKB. He might just expend the Aegis right here, right now. Pops his ult now, though. And it's going to potentially cost Kuroki his life. He's stuck inside the kinetic field. Singularity. Residents like, what is going on? What kind of a fight is this? And there's the Aegis that we have wanted to
For lack of a better word, this feels so forced. Like, that is insanely forced.
That's so weird.
You're just running circles between the towers. His team are not really close by. Like, I'm just confused. There might be something going on here that I just don't understand, but to me this looks... I don't know.
Oh, he picks up a power.
I don't know what the right word is for that.
Oh, Stampede initiation. Disruptor gets Yules. Mind control. Has the hoof stomp.
Glimmer. Immediate purge on the dust as well.
Taking basically no damage. Kuroki is getting melted from Zitrax. The Zitrax is going to change his targets completely. As the Zeus is the first to fall in this engagement, Weehaw pops that ult again with the BKB. They're able to find the Disruptor finally. So it's a 2-for-0 to start this fight. Zitrax still has a meta. Pops the BKB. He needs to get this Sunder off pretty soon here. We'll get it off onto Weehaw, who's now on the retreat. They're going to find Mind Control, and that is a dual damage for Hesta Joe.
A damage.
And with that is a damage point.
He has won 46 duels. Very impressive performance.
Yes, he had. Oh my god. What did I miss? Weehaw apparently killing Grimstroke.
Crucial for the outcome of this fight. The big story here is that Zeus gets jumped and dies. They can't have that happen. If Excalibur gets caught, the fight gets so much harder. He is the biggest damage output their team has. and it's crucial that he gets to be saved and play in a good position. Just got overwhelmed there. He doesn't have Force Staff, he doesn't have Ghost Scepter, and he doesn't have Aether Lens, so he can't really play on the range either with his build. And in that instance, at least, the Yules was not particularly helpful. And that's another thing that's really nice about having Nimbus, right? Because you feel way more impactful from a much bigger distance. So the temptation or the feeling of needing to commit isn't nearly the same. Like, you can have huge impact without even being in the fight. You know,
you can cast
3 range
and
away.
then die, and you have more impact than you already had, right?
Right. That's a pretty negative outlook, but also true.
It's yeah, why not? I mean, Excalibur level 19 right now, still about 1100 away from finishing that Nimbus. Looks like Scotty has now been picked up. He's not gonna jump on top of Hesta Joe.
That
tasty
ward.
delight.
Yeah, the fact that they're allowed to have this ward here, Nigma, for the last 3 minutes is... that should not be allowed. You know, Singularity got their area back for a little bit, but they haven't been there to deward, and this hill needs to be covered. I think in this meta, these wards that overlook the shrines at your own jungle, now that there's more of them, you really need to cover especially the outward ones, I would say. The ones close to the river are just... those ward spots are really powerful. They have a Zeus, you know, like... okay, Stolen Thunder.
You guys probably saw it on the side of your screen.
Boy.
It's hard to catch these Tinker kills, let me tell you.
So GH came in with low HP, blinks under Terrorblade, and they Dagoned him with Tinker. Instant
Oh, that
kill.
would happen? Oh,
he had a Stolen Thunder on Rubik.
I'm so sad I missed that one.
Now, that's a really big kill too. 50 seconds, no buyback on TB, so Nigma should be able to get something big out of this.
He still has Thunder for a bit more. He can do the same thing.
Yep.
Go die to creeps real quick. Please. Tank that tower, GH. And he has the blink dagger. This is like an instant type deal. That is crazy. What a terrible skill to give away. If used correctly. Well, the tier 2 tower looks to be dead in favor of Team Nigma. Mind control. The Crimson Guard now. He's probably had that for quite a while. Miracle with the level 5 Dagon, and is now going for, looks like to be a Bloodstone. And Weeha really picked up Abyssal Blade. They are just swimming in gold right now.
What a redemption story for Weeha. He was 061, now he's 664, and same net worth as Terrorblade all of a sudden.
Yep.
He's just totally swung the game.
His brother was playing the first 10 minutes of the game for him.
I think his dog.
I didn't want to go that far. Jesus Christ. Oh, Centaur initiated on. Swap is here. Hesta Joe has the duel available. AP is available as well. That's a double duel.
Really good
Is he gonna get both? He will. And he will get shredded shortly after. Actually, is living for now. Gets force staffed out. Weehog gets slowed thanks to the Scotty on Zitrax. It's a 2 for 1, but the buyback on Grimstroke. And now Rubik, as Hesta Joe and company, completely decimating. Very nicely done. Miracle being the nuisance that he is. Oh, the silence not quite there in time. But
and they didn't
really
have,
good fight for Singularity.
Yeah, they didn't have the spells ready on Disrupt. Limps there, they get the Tinker as well, or if he has Yules, but Miracle probably knew for a fact that Glimpse was just used with the way he was playing that fight.
82 damage now. That must have felt
this is what this is the thing about this patch that's really, it's like it's really exciting and in a way a little bit frustrating at the same time. It feels so difficult even when you're watching to read and predict what's happening next. So imagine playing in this game.
Yeah.
Like everything is just so explosive and sudden, and you know, you could talk about how big of a lead Nigma have and what good position they're in on the map or whatnot, but if you get this ward out for Singularity and you get the jump like this, it seems to me that one of Nigma's biggest problems compared to the tier 1 teams that qualify to the major is playing the map, right? Like understanding the locations on the map that are good when and why, which is something historically they've been exceptionally good at, playing high grounds and invading territories. But they still seem to need to find their groove a little bit on how to put this pressure. It's hard to just put a finger on and say this is exactly what they're doing wrong, but clearly with the lead that they have, this fight should not be happening like this, right? At least as far as we know about Dota, but things have changed, so
I mean,
you know.
yeah, always room for evolution in our minds, Cinderin, for some of us at least. Do you agree with this now that you are seeing how this game is progressing? They finally took out this mango tree, by the way. Good lord. The Tinker build. Do you think he's going to be going for Sheepstick now? But we talked about Ags. Is that needed soon, you think? Terrorblade
There's cases to be made for both. Like, the thing that's nice about Ags is that he can also blind the Legion Commander in duel, so he can like bounce from Legion to Terrorblade illusions, which is really nice. The upside to the Hex is that he sets up his Ursa for success, right? He can catch any of the dire heroes, and Weeha can kind of pounce on that and he can just get easy kills. So I think both are good, and I don't really mind. My bigger question is if the Bloodstone is now a Tinker item that you get. Alright, Koro's gonna sacrifice himself here to get the Roach. I think that's completely fine. Information, distracting the enemy.
Weeha. 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 Okay.
You never know, man.
Sometimes I just wish I could be inside his mind for like some of these plays, just to understand, you know? Such genius behind these plays. Well, it's going to be 35 minutes here pretty soon. The Dire have, it looks like it's going to be another trade of outposts. Question is who will get all the bounty runes. This is a 7k lead for Nigma right now. And they have the third eye on mind control.
What do you think Dota Plus considers the win percentage in this game?
You're asking me that, and I don't know the key to actually check.
F8.
Okay, I'm gonna say Team Nigma by 70%.
Okay, check it out.
F8. That's not the key for me. Okay, might have changed them at some point. Just tell me.
It's 50-50.
Oh. With a 7k lead. Is it because Terrorblade is a normal late game hero?
Might be Terrorblade Zeus against Tinker as well. Don't know. I was a bit surprised. I didn't think it would be considered this much or this even. But and the other thing is, has this algorithm been trained enough in the new patch, right? Because what it would have to hold up against would be the old version, right? So the numbers that it looks at are probably towers fallen, gold difference, what heroes are farmed, minute of the game, all of these things. And yeah. Also, something to keep in mind is Ursa generally does not fare too great when the game gets too long, right? So he's also probably a factor in this equation.
Yep, he falls off quite a bit. Looks like he's going for Nullifier, though. Prevent some of that item usage from coming out, like the Yules for Zeus or the BKB for Terrorblade. That's honestly game winning. If you can get this Abyssal Blade, I mean, he has a blink as well. He's going to use it, but a very quick cloak there. Wow, why am I brain freezing on this? Glimmer Cape, cloak, same thing. Harry Potter. What is the thing from Harry Potter called? The three
Deathly Hollows?
Deathly Hollows, yeah. That is one of the Deathly Hollows.
Not Hollows. Hollows is if you're empty inside.
I
know a lot about that shit. It's a Hallow.
Radiant are scanning.
Your brain is hollow.
Wait, what is a Hallow specifically?
Good question. Let's ask J.K. Rowling. Oh, Tinker's in trouble. Tinker is fucking dead.
And the duel to boot. But Weeha comes in and cleans up the Disruptor, and he gets the Abyssal Blade onto the Legion Commander. Was it worth it, Singularity? Maybe. I don't know, actually.
It's pretty even.
Tinker's dead.
They won a duel. They killed the richest hero. And they lost another core in a support. I think it's pretty even, I would say.
Deathly Hallows. I think I've been saying Hollows this whole time. I feel like that's a British pronunciation, Hollows.
It's spelled differently.
I know it's spelled
two different words. It's like brooch and broach. I've been calling it broach the whole time. Well, you've been saying the wrong thing. What do you mean?
Well,
what do you want?
To be fair, these words are weird, okay? Yeah. They're not normal words. Broach. Alright, give it to me. It'd be hilarious if it's not even a word. It was made specifically for... Is it really? That would be... Huh. But it's a verb. Interesting. Ah. Okay. Okay, but it's not a person, right? They're items. They're physical items. Now I'm confused. That's true. There's a lot of weird things in that book. Those books.
I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch.
Did you read the play, by the way, before we get into this next team fight, which will probably never happen?
Huh? Which play?
The Harry Potter
No.
the extension of the books?
No.
It's bad. Don't read it. It'll ruin your whole experience with Harry Potter. Don't do it, guys.
Okay.
Just a forewarning. Trust me, I have a really good taste.
Okay.
All right, smoke by Singularity.
Trusting you immediately right now.
108 damage on this Legion commander.
Zeus has BKB.
Weehaw, his
Shannon.
Aegis just... What's that?
BKB on Zeus,
Zeus has
Shannon.
BKB, okay.
Zeus has BKB, Shannon.
Sounds good. Zeus is gonna pop the ult, and Tinker dies immediately. Holy
Over the storm.
crap, that was fast.
Oh, that's
Double BKB popped by Team Nigma. Nice hoof stomp onto one. Tinker's gonna buy back in the game now. This could be a pretty big turnaround.
Yo, has
As
he
Zirax
died?
pops the BKB, mind control getting kited up. Already used Stamp. Kuroki coming in, gets the swap. Mind control looks to be dead to that last right click, but Weehaw jumps in, trying to take out Zirax, and they will do so with the Dagon from Miracle.
Duel?
And now the duel coming in, and
Okay.
that is a Hesta Joe death. So Miracle, extra damage for you. Very useful on a Tinker, of course.
He can refresh the dual damage and get infinite damage.
That's incredible. And it was a 2 for 2 with 1 buyback.
Buyback on Tinker is
Technically
big.
favor
but-
Singularity. Yeah.
Yeah, but they get outpost control and they get the bounties. So I think if you're Nigma, you're still happy with this. But now you've got to pay attention to Miracle not dying. It's really important. And his deaths, let's not forget, he has Bloodstone. So he loses power every time he dies. These deaths on Tinker are actually pretty important. And what was really nice from Singularity there was they saw the opening on Tinker, and the moment they jumped him, they used Zeus ulti. So Centaur couldn't counter engage and couldn't stampede save the way he wanted to do that. And they just cleared that up, and then they got a beautiful double Soulbind into Static Storm combo. The spellcasting from Singularity that fight was actually excellent. The only thing they didn't get off was the Sunder, and that would have probably won them the fight hands down.
A lot of disconnections here from
Yep.
both teams. Synchronized outage, it seems. Tinker Miracle with 5k gold right now. Obviously, like you said, just bought back, so might as well spend it. I believe Sheepstick is going to be the next item of choice, most
Yeah.
likely.
He might
the
also,
way-
honestly, he might consider a BKB.
Yeah, he could.
Or a Lincoln's, because... Oh, he is hovering a Lincoln's.
Oh,
okay,
it is a
'cause
Lincoln's. Yeah.
the duel is a problem. He really needs to not get caught. And Legion Commander has no way of breaking Lincolns. I think the Zeus Nimbus does not break Lincolns as well, does it? Man, I should know this stuff.
I mean, it blocks Thunderstrike, so that's just the question again, is it the same as Thunderstrike? I mean,
Thunderstrike
obviously,
is Disruptor's first spell, Shannon. Come on.
or sorry, Lightning Bolt. I was literally having, I was highlighted on it and I still said Thunderstrike. It is a Thunder, let's be real. They're all the same, guys.
No,
Zeus can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's a god. But anyway,
True.
I'm gonna say Lincoln's does block it, actually. But either way,
think so,
don't you
too.
just get a quick arc lightning into a duel? I mean, it's a little bit of a setup, obviously.
Exactly. The big difference there is that Zeus needs to be nearby. But if the Nimbus just breaks Lincoln's, he could set up Legion anywhere. They just communicate go, and he Nimbuses him
Right.
while the Legion's blinking in.
Well, the good news is Zeus
So-
has 463 move speed thanks to both the Yules and Boots of Travel Cinderin.
And move speed talent. He is fast.
Is it a 35 move speed talent?
30, I think. Yeah.
Speaking of talents, Miracle, level 25,
Okay, Weehaw going
heat-seeking
in.
missile mini-stun has got to be a top 5 most annoying talents in the game. I should definitely make a list for this. As tier 3 tower is now taking damage.
Good blip. It's
GH
gonna
is
kill the
very
Zeus.
deep in the base right now. My goodness. Miracle creating as much space as possible. Weehaw does not have Aegis. But is
Nigma
still
needs to be
taking the
careful not
tower
to
pretty
overstay
much
here.
uncontested.
They're getting the tower and then again the hell out of here. There's no way they stick around.
So now they can technically kill the shrines if they so choose so. Looks like gonna get a glimpse on Kuroki, their usual target. It's pretty tanky though. They're a little bit hesitant here. Hesitant wants to jump in. Inkswell, nice double ult here from Grimstroke. BKB flop is a little low. That's going to be a buyback onto the Grimstroke, in fact. Vengeful Spirit dies as well, so technically a 1-for-1 buyback onto the Legion Commander who died. Mind Control BKB is now over.
And that's a different fight if Terrorblade has meta. I think Singularity just call it what it is. Just like, alright, bad fight, get out, and cut their losses, because brute forcing that fight without meta might have cost them the game. I think this is a good back. The question is if they could have avoided this thing entirely until Terrorblade had meta again. Then it would have been very nice.
Yeah, what is the reasoning for going in there? Because it was only like 20 seconds till it was back, and they initiated tech, right?
Yeah, maybe they thought they had a better, like, that the opening was better than it actually was. So you have to respect how much defensive capability Nigma have with Force Staff, Stampede, Pipe. Ursa obviously has his ulti and BKB. And the Centaur is a really bad target, but okay, we're gonna see.
Glimpse, Centaur. He's gonna be taking the brunt of the damage. Another Grimstroke ult, Soulbind onto 2. Oh, we could have. I wasn't paying attention if the Thunderstrike actually twice there. Zitrax not able to actually find any target here. Looks like Soulbind was stolen by the Rubik, but no death.
That is. I don't know how good. It's pretty good double laser, double Dagon.
Ooh. Illusionist Cape. This is a Terrorblade item for sure.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, how good is it? It sounds good to me, but it doesn't really give stats. I don't know how long you can actually hold it.
Increases outgoing damage of all units and illusions by 10%. So it's just a 10% bonus, right, on damage.
Yeah.
And then the one illusion you make is actually really tanky.
Yes.
Terrorblade's usual illusions take 320%, and the illusionist cape one takes 150. So, and it does almost the same damage as his other illus. The ill he makes with this is not an easy kill. It has like 2k health. So, not bad.
But how long is that going to be better than what items you can buy?
That's a question.
You know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Weeha hovering over this double damage room. Spell Prism is now on Zeus. That could be a big one.
Mind Control forcing in.
Mind Control. Oh, there's the Abyssal Blade. And a Stolen Soulbind used again. And 2 easy kills as Team Nigma in this fight. A buyback onto the Disruptor. But not even a remotely close fight here.
Singularity were not together. This is 44 minutes into the game, and they had, I think, Legion and Terrorblade were in the top lane, and the other 3 were together in the jungle. And that gets punished. If you get caught out like that, you can't win this fight. It's a 5-on-3. This late in the game, no way. So just positioning error that is extremely costly here. Zeus will have to buy back as well. Starting to do some damage here.
Disruptor ult on the backside on the Tinker, but there comes Ursa crushing
Tinker 1 HP. Oh my god, he's not dying.
2 for nothing, make it 3 as Zitrax finally does get a kill, but at what cost? Miracle able to go back to the base. We'll be back shortly, no doubt, as Team Nigma still has the numbers. And Zitrax's metamorphosis will not last forever. Buyback now on the
so important for Nigma there that Tinker doesn't die. If he dies, they actually can't even punish these 3 heroes being dead, probably. But now, the numbers advantage is probably a bit too overwhelming, and this should more than likely spell the end of the game. Less Weeha.
Unless Weeha does Weeha things. He's gonna jump on top of Terrorblade, but that'll be more than enough to take him out.
That's
of course,
a good one.
The buyback is here for the Arcana Terrorblade, but he doesn't have meta, so yeah, not the greatest. Oh, my FPS, holy jeez. March of the Machines just destroys me, apparently. Looks like they're going to be going for the
aggression from Weeha in this game has gone from very reckless to way more controlled. I mean, this play, it looks crazy, but just the numbers advantage makes it almost... Right. It can't really fail, right? He can jump in, he just uses his ulti whenever he feels threatened, and they get the job done that way.
Why did he just ult? I'm so confused.
I think he thought that was the real Terrorblade, because the illusion you make with the Illusionist Cape does not show as a regular Terrorblade illu, I believe.
You know, that hero I have the biggest problem playing against. I can never tell what's real, what's not. Just like life. Looks like Nick is down. Oh, Soulbind onto 2, a double silence, but here comes Miracle, and he does a shit of damage. Zeus getting off his
takes some.
Yeah, he sure does.
I think Singularity are staying in the game here.
So maybe a mistake to try to go for throne. They don't really have the greatest build leaders. Centaur actually is probably their best, along with Ursa.
Yeah, when he
Not
has
the greatest.
stacks, he's good. But no stacks now. Yep, and Nigma get out. So Singularity still with a chance in this game. Losing one lane of Rax is not the end of the world, but they have to be playing as a unit now. You can't split up like they've done anymore. And I get Kuro 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That could be Roach, actually. That would be really
Took
big
Magic
for them.
Missile pierces spell immunity, by the way. I know that's the better pick this game specifically, but I would be way too tempted to get the old Ags, essentially. GH, ooh, he's... Hesta Joe, it forks out his blade, man. Mind control, Grim... Okay, completely decimated.
Really out of position.
Yeah. Roshan is now going to go to Team Nigma in all likelihood. Ursa can just clean this bad boy up.
I don't think they're going to let them have it. They have to fight here. Nimbus.
The Nimbus
killed off.
Swiftly taken care of. Stampede is available in 5 seconds as well. Weeha.
That's an X storm. It's an X storm.
That is pretty good. And Zidrax able to pop BKB along with his metamorphosis. And the Aegis will go to mind control along with the Roshan kill themselves. As Zidrax now on the run. So a disaster of sorts as GH duels Hesta Joe and wins. Oh man, that feels bad.
Classic.
Oh, goodness me. And Zitrax's meta is going to be running out shortly, so I think they can probably just finish the throne now if they really want.
He needs to buy refresher. Yep. Sell something. No, terribly. He has to get it.
Oh, terrible. Yeah.
But he needs the courier. We can't buy refresher in base anymore. We need to buy the
Yeah. Well, this looks to be the end of game 1, most likely. Zitrax is going to be dying right at the step of this fountain. And the throne shall get destroyed. So Team Nigma able to take game 1. I would not say this was convincing. There was a lot of back and forth game. They had a lot of trouble in certain segments of the game, but they were able to pull it out in the end. Rough start though, especially for Weeha.
Yeah, I think
Dire team ban. Team pick. Radiant team pick.
Welcome back, friends, to game 2 of this best of 3 between Team Nigma versus Team Singularity. This is, of course, for the We Play Bukovel Minor EU qualifiers. Winner of this entire qualifiers goes on to the Minor Sunsfan here with Cinderman. We're seeing a lot of Legion Commander, my friend, and a lot of Grimstroke, and a lot of Rubik, and a lot of other heroes. How are you?
Dire team ban.
Warrior.
Okay.
Wait, what? They just second.
Radiant team ban.
I'm kind of curious to see if Singularity will try to punish this Ursa. I mean, they did a pretty good job, right? They kind of shut him down completely.
Yeah.
Maybe more surprising than anything is that this Rubik gets through, who is probably Nigma's best hero.
Remaining.
Every time,
5 seconds remaining.
at least portions of the game, he does a lot of work on his Rubik. And maybe it would be worth considering banning that over something like the Wind Ranger, which I don't think is that powerful of a hero, at least not a first phase pick, as far as I'm concerned, but they do rate it very highly, apparently.
I mean,
and they did lose to
see...
Weeha's Wind Ranger, of course, on day 1. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a better Wind Ranger player than Weeha. I don't think they exist. I mean, if you're going to first pick, if you want them to first pick something between Windrunner and Ursa, pretty sure it's Ursa.
Sure,
Still.
but what about Rubik?
Yeah, that's kind of the issue. I mean, the thing with GH though is it feels like any hero he's on, he's just crushes. You know, Tusk obviously probably the most prevalent, but I mean, I get you. I get you. You can only ban so many heroes, Cinder, and that's the beauty of Dota 2.
Absolutely. All I'm saying is the other 2 bans are GH targeted, and then this Wind Ranger seems a little bit shoehorned in, like maybe it wouldn't be that necessary, but alright.
I mean,
Here comes second phase.
for all we know,
if we're gonna...
this could be a position 5 Ursa, Cinder, the Kuroki special.
Anything can happen right now.
Yes.
You know what? Nigma might actually pick Magnus this game.
Oh.
If Weeha is playing the safe lane and they want... Miracle can play Mag, I think. Okay, they're
Sure
literally
Miracle
just
can play
picking the same heroes.
Yeah. Wait, who are we missing
So, Nigma's gonna pick Venge.
then? Terrorblade for
Yeah,
Singularity.
They had Terrorblade last game.
Who's their 5th? Who was their mid laner? Zeus, yeah. Okay. And no
10
bans on any of those heroes, so still available. I mean,
just rematch.
I can appreciate this just based on the fact that if you're looking back on that game, you're like, you know what? We feel very strongly that our lineup was just better. We just got outplayed, plain and simple. We just made a few too many mistakes. I mean, you talked about it yourself. At the beginning of the game, Ursa got crushed harder than any hero I've seen in the last 2 months. But then he made a comeback, and then he crushed. It was a roller coaster of emotions.
I don't know. If I look back on that game, I'm like, what happened?
He got a triple kill, and then the game changed. That fight. Ooh, all right, here's a change-up.
Chen for Kuro could be leading into a Miracle mid-hero that plays a little more teamfight oriented. We did see a team play Chen Shadowfiend yesterday. Obviously a classic pairing with Chen would be something like Dragon Knight or Death Prophet.
10 seconds.
How bad is
kinds of
Juggernaut
heroes.
right now, by the way?
Hard
It's a
to
hero
say.
that Miracle
hard
has
to place.
really played well on in the distant past, it feels like at this point. Finally, we see a change-up for Singularity, so Razor will be the choice.
Yep.
That's the double static link. I haven't seen this hero in a pro game yet since they changed him. What are your thoughts on the way static link?
It seems really powerful.
right now with
It seems really powerful.
because it's like you're forced to attack the target that you're static linking, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
5 seconds
When I
remaining.
first had that, it felt like a nerf. Is that?
You don't need to stop to attack though. So you just link someone and you keep walking. It's way easier to maintain the link if you don't need to stop in between for damage. I think in most cases it's better. But obviously there will be some cases where it's like you really want to switch target while you're linked and you can't do it. Then you have the choice of breaking the link to get freedom, right? You can just run away so that it breaks.
Of course, Eye of the Storm was also buffed quite a bit to give a passive zap every, I don't know how many seconds. We'll check once we're in game, but that feels pretty powerful.
But then they also changed the, what was it called before? Into Storm Surge.
It's passive, unstable current.
Unstable current, yeah. Shannon, by the way, speaking of names, I have to correct myself and apologize to you. Because as it was pointed out to me on Twitter, the spellings B-R-O-O-C-H and B-R-O-A-C-H are both pronounced broach. And that's the beauty of English, is that there can be like literally one fucking word where 2 O's in a row is pronounced O-A, and everyone will be like, how did you not know that?
Yeah, I got a tweet from somebody saying,
and even correct you in his own language.
I'm sorry guys that I don't use broach in my everyday language. I know
You
it's a
did
very
say it
common
though.
word.
That's the funny thing. I don't think you said
Yeah.
brooch. I corrected you. I said it's I said it's 2 O's. It's brute.
I still get flame. It doesn't matter. The flame is
It's
always strong.
funny, though.
You know.
Can you think of any word? Okay, I'll put you on the spot here. Think of any word with 2 O's in a row where it's pronounced O and not oo. Any word.
Radiant team banned.
You can't use
Very odd.
brooch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a weird one. I can't think of another word with double O that's would pronounce that way though. I apologize for the English language.
Wonderful.
Technically, it's not a United States thing though. This is from the Brits, right?
It's called brooch in
Take it
both.
with them.
10 seconds.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's taken from the Brits.
5 seconds.
What do you think
remaining.
about... So this Sand King pick is more than likely for mind control. I think what Nigma want is a reliable way of starting fights to set up Ursa for success. I think Sand King also, as an offlaner, maybe suffers less than a lot of other heroes by facing the Static Link Razor, because you at least have magic damage, you can get CS. Assuming that the Razor will be safe lane, it's one of Zitrax's best heroes, so I think he will be playing it, and Excalibur will play something else in mid. It's also a pretty good hero against Legion Commander in lane if they end up facing each other, because, you know, he can just kill Caustic, or he can, again, use Sandstorm to just get CS in this bad matchup against Legion.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
more than likely, they definitely want their Ursa against Legion, right? So Sand King is picked to
5
face
seconds
Razor
remaining.
here.
I can't
What I'm
believe
saying.
that Legion is a first pick right now. That's the most shocking thing to me. Especially after losing a duel to
Dire
Rubik.
team pick.
Are you are you surprised when you see the games play out? Like, conceptually, you might be surprised because Legion has kind of been considered relatively bad for like 2 years, except very recently in the grand scheme of things. But
So I'm going to say the same thing I've always said. Press the Attack is an amazing ability in like a vacuum. And you can see it every game. It's used primarily because, or she's picked primarily because of that.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
I feel like it just doesn't, it feels too clunky on her. You know what I mean? She's not a very
5
fluid hero.
seconds
I want,
remaining.
because duel is the coolest, one of the coolest mechanics in the game. And you add press the attack and you have to like think about, oh, do I double click it first, then blink in, and then blade mail, and then duel? You have to cast all this garbage.
so you think it should
to
have
make
no
her
cast
useful.
point?
I just think it should be a different skill on her entirely, and make press the attack a different, like base a concept around that.
So
I
you
just
would-
always felt
don't
like the hero was
don't press
clunky.
the attack and then go.
I mean, yeah, you can lower the cast time, but then isn't that OP at that point? I mean,
Probably.
maybe you lower the numbers at that point. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. When I see the game, like she's overwhelming odds is a really good harassing mechanic in the early game. Press the attack is amazing the entire game, and duel is a great single target disable. So yeah, all those things together make her a solid pick, I suppose. But we're gonna see a Weeha
Here
Invoker.
Comes
Or are we?
Miracle Invoker, I think.
It could be Miracle Ursa. You never
I think
know.
it's Miracle Invoker.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when you see a change up like what they did in the last game, I am pretty convinced that they will play Miracle on mid for the rest of the tournament.
You think so? I
yeah,
think.
I think
Okay,
so.
I'm gonna make a prediction then. I think that's specifically hero based. I think Ursa.
But we have played Tinker.
I know, but maybe Ursa is not a Miracle favorite. Maybe Weehaw loves Ursa. He has the
Oh, so you're
cosmetic
saying
after all.
specifically when they have Ursa, we have
Yes.
this side lane. Okay. But
I
then
could
you
be
would
wrong,
agree that Miracle's Invoker in
but-
this game.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, Miracle's... trying to think of heroes that Weehaw... I mean, Weehaw's a better win runner. Is that it? I mean, Weehaw's a really good player, don't get me wrong, but Miracle, it just feels like every hero, he's just better than everyone in a 1v1 matchup. Especially the laning scene. That's the interesting thing we talked about.
But he's definitely very good.
I said it feels like. I didn't say he is.
Well, why does it feel that way?
Because it feels like he wins his lane every single time, and he has a net worth advantage every single game. Which is actually 100% true this tournament. He's always had the net worth lead at like 15%.
yeah, well, maybe in this tournament, but this is a minor qualifier, right?
Yeah.
You,
Well, I'm just
the way
basing it
you
off
said
of
it,
this
it sounded
tournament.
like an ultimate statement that in the world scene of Dota, he's just the best mid player.
I'm
and I think
blanketing.
that's up for
I love
discussion.
blanketing statements, Cinder. That's a very American thing to do. Get with the times, okay? Yes.
At everything.
And
Great
we might
chef.
actually see the Kid Invoker, your favorite cosmetic. We'll see.
I don't think we'll see that. Miracle's a good guy. He's not gonna play fucking Kid Invoker.
All right, we'll see. Please pick it. Please, God damn it!
He knows what's up.
Worst cosmetic. What is this?
He has the opposite of Kid Invoker. He's like, how can I make this hero as tall as possible? Oh, I can equip this item that makes him... This is the male version of Stilettos right there.
Wow, it feels like he's compensating, right?
He really is.
I look down
Doesn't
on
Invoker
this
just seem like a hero that's compensating to you in general?
That's true. He's very braggadocious and confident in life. Definitely a... I mean, I'd say he's probably a psychopath.
Like, I know everything better than you. I am the biggest genius ever. And when the game starts out, he can barely fucking make a spell. Like,
He learns over time. He's a quick learner. In the meantime, the Disruptor is riding a very cool mount. Is that like a... Is that a... what's it called? What is that dinosaur called? It's the Thunderhide pack, essentially. But
Stegosaurus.
yes, Stegus. No, not... Is it Stegosaurus? Maybe it is.
I don't know.
It's like a baby
combination between a
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus and something, a tadpole.
Oh, look at Razor. He has Eye of Scotty on his belly.
Oh.
Now,
So now he has 7
He has to buy Eye of
eyes.
Scotty now.
He actually has 7 eyes.
That's
Look at
true. That does have 6 eyeball areas. Strange.
that. Eyeball areas.
Yeah, there's areas within the helmet, the helm, if you will.
Wait, isn't there light coming out of the side as well? Does he have 6 eyes on each side of his head?
Oh boy, we have
So
to.
he's got
Okay,
like
we're gonna have to investigate. when we get in
25
the game.
eyes. That's a fucking spider right there. That is
It's
a
gonna be
spider.
incredible. Oh,
Oh, well, it's hard
we
to
get
see.
the close.
Does he actually have 4 sides on the helm even?
I don't know. And this, of course, the
Like-
greatest cosmetic of all time,
Oh,
worth
yes.
a lot of money now.
How valuable is that?
Back. I don't know. That's a great question that we'll have to answer another time. Sunstrike is down. All right, let's look at Razor. Oh, you're right. He does have... It's actually more. There's 8. No, how many is that? That's 6 additional, right?
He has 12
So
additional.
it's 12 in the back and 6 in the front?
So 19 eyes on Razor right now. Because of that Scotty.
The Eye of Scott. Wait, the Eye of Scotty is
Disappeared. Okay. Well, that's the main thing with items in Dota, guys. You pay for the loadout, not for the gameplay, right? So we're fine.
He
Nothing
might
wrong
have
here.
unequipped it after that. It's possible.
You can't do that, I think. Can you?
Well, okay, I know for a fact that if you die after you've equipped something, it will refresh to your new
Oh, it
cosmetics.
will?
I know that for sure. Yes. Tried this
I don't know.
last
I
week.
haven't died yet with cosmetics on.
Yeah,
So.
I guess that makes sense. I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Headdress on Kuroki. 2 HP regeneration in a 1200 radius with 3 attributes.
And then he has
I like
the
it.
Divine Favor. So this means Ursa's base HP region right now is 8.6 next
Wow.
to Chen.
Incredible.
Out of which Chen contributes 4.5
Wow.
by just being there. That's half a tango non-stop.
I can't believe
Kuro getting information.
it. Dust onto Mind Control. They're going to get the Ink Swell as well as the Static Link. Mind Control is going to take a lot of damage. He should be good to go, though. And the rune will go to Singularity. There's only 3 taken? Am I crazy? Oh, there's still one at top. Interesting. Oh, that's because Kuro is getting chased. Hesta Joe and company. Goodness me, oh my.
Did you know that
3 out of
Orb
4
of Venom
bounties.
gives your hero 300 attack range? It's a really good item.
What are you trying to say, Synderen?
Did you see the last hit there?
Yeah, but he was in range for the amount of time that it takes. Wait, if they didn't have that in the game, melee heroes would actually just be horrible.
I know it's not a bug. It just looks super weird when you get hit from like 400 range away because of Orb of Venom.
It happens. It's life. It's Dota. So it's going to be
in comparison
Excalibur
to last
versus Miracle
game,
mid.
I think this top lane is worth talking about because last game it was the same lane from Singularity, but Nigma had Avenge instead of the Chen, and I think the trade-off here or the change-up from Kuro makes this lane so much better. The thing is, Ursa will just be able to sustain through the Thunder Strikes and the harassment from Legion Commander. Because Kuro, if he's there, giving all this passive regen, and if he gets any decently good creep when he's level 2, I think Ursa will just farm and maybe even be able to get kills on Legion later if they get the right.
So did they picked a lineup that would ensure Weeha does not feed in the early game?
That's a negative way of looking at it, but I suppose.
Inkswell, GH, gonna go. Oh, Courier, not gonna be in range. GH, great job microing that bad boy. Gonna take some additional right clicks. Is the Grimstroke. Weeha continue to take these Thunder Strikes. The question is, how often can Kuroki just stand by his side? He needs to go ganking at some point. I mean, would you play this differently as a result of these changes with the Hedris and whatnot? Would you actually just stay in there a little bit longer than normal
On the Chen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he kind of has to wait for level 2, right? He can't. His hero doesn't really do anything. He's just there, and now he's more than just there. I think you try to get either an Ogre Mage or a maybe the Mono Region Aura and Heal Creep would be really good in this lane too. Damn, that's a lot of damage, but he is staying alive.
Burrow Strike, bottom lane into the telekinesis. Inkswell will stun, but Zidrak's taking a huge amount of damage, and that is going to be a death for our Razor today. Grimstroke trading some harassment with GH in the meantime. Pretty
Mind
surprising.
Control is going to hit level 3, and that's a really big turning point for Sand King. The Sandstorm gets so much better. More than double the damage, 5 seconds or 6 seconds shorter cooldown. He will reliably be able to just CS here as much as he wants, as long as they have sentries to break enemy sentries or that he can get out of dust, he will be just fine.
What do you buy on Razors these days? I mean, I know a lot of people have been spamming this hero because I know there's been some complaints of him being maybe a little bit too good. We might see some action mid. Excalibur pretty deep. Do you build him any differently than before, or is it essentially the same thing?
I think more or less the same, probably.
Excalibur taking a lot of harassment damage from Miracle. Will be man going up as well. Top lane in the meantime, Kuroki taking some Thunder Strike damage as well. Weeha trying to keep his captain out of harm's way. But looking at the CS department, 13-0 for Ursa. Better than last game. I believe he died twice at this point of the game. GH on the high ground here is going to be trading again with the Grimstroke. Of course, he does have the level advantage for now. And Sand King's going to come in. Mind Control does Burrow Strike.
He's dead.
Very low range at level 1. Will get it off, and that is going to be another kill for Team Nigma in this bottom lane.
So both side lanes are being won by the offlaners, basically. Sand King is slightly ahead of Razor, and Legion Commander is a lot ahead of Ursa. So the side lane win here, I would say, largely bigger for Singularity. Also considering that Chen is being bullied back to base here again by Aine. He's playing very aggressively. And another Thunder Strike goes out on Weeha. He has to spend quite a lot of gold on resources, and that's why his gold looks this bad. He has to buy extra regen.
Oh dear.
Oh, never mind, we're back bottom. Singularity just...
Indeed.
So, have some good net worths on the board.
Weeha taking more spells to the face. Thunder Strike. Oh, Kinetic Field is there, and this looks to be a kill for Singularity. It's a little bit late, and won't be able to do a whole lot in terms of damage to the enemy.
Skill Penitence over Holy Persuasion level 2. Maybe because his camp was being body blocked all the time by Disruptor, and he didn't really feel like he could find anything useful. Now he's gonna finally find a Cobalt Foreman. We get some of that move speed. If he would have checked a little bit further to the right, I think he would be very happy to see the Ogre Frost Mage and grab that one, because that is very good in this lane.
Are you saying you don't like Kobold? This guy's awesome.
He is awesome, but I don't know how good he is for this lane right now.
How dare you talk trash about Kobold. Boy, top lane, Weehaw. Kinetic Field, Thunderstrike as well. Hesta Jove presses the attack, but not able to actually secure a kill.
Could have manned up there. Yeah, it's a tough call to make, though.
It is Ursa.
Weehaw was like a quarter health, but there were 7 stacks of Fury Swipes on the Legion, so...
And what level of Fury Swipes is this?
It's level 1.
Level 1 only right now. Yeah,
he's maxing Earthshock again. But this time he got a point in overpower, and I think that makes a very big difference. Didn't he press the attack it off, though? Pretty sure he pressed the attack it off. Which one?
At that point. The Fury Swipe.
They're undispellable.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh. When was that changed? A year ago?
I don't remember them ever being dispellable, but they might be.
What?
I'm not sure.
Really?
So, what he pressed off there, he pressed off Earthshock and he pressed off Penitence at once. They were both dispellable, so
I see.
He reset that.
Miracle and Excalibur, in terms of XP, relatively even, and CS as well, actually. Miracle does have more denies, but the Invoker TA matchup, just generally speaking, is going to have Sand taking some damage here. That looks to be an easy kill, actually, for Singularity.
I think TA is expected to do a bit better than this. I don't think it's a stomp. In the past, at some points, it was kind of one-sided. But I'm pretty sure that TA is supposed to be ahead by more than like 50 or 100 gold minute 7. Mainly from just being a better hero at denying. I'm very surprised Miracle's been able to get more denies in the lane. Exort Invoker does a lot of damage though, and I'm not exactly an expert on this matchup anymore, and every new patch things change, so perhaps this isn't as TA favorite as it used to be. But I still stand by, I don't think it's a draw. I'm pretty sure it's not a draw.
Oh, Miracle getting initiated on. Glimpses there. Sunstrike will take out the Disruptor
nice.
So, oh man. But Excalibur still won't be too sad about this because he's now level 8 and I feel like he's definitely won this lane now. Maybe not by a huge margin, but has won it nonetheless.
Even though there is a trade-off there and Disruptor dies, I still think just the fact that they killed Invoker in his tower and forced a TP in from GH makes that a very nice move overall. Oh, unfortunate they got Iron Talon. Oh, now they got another one.
That one's fine. What are the 3 worst tier 1s? Iron Talon is by far the worst. And
yeah, I would say so.
What do you not want to... I mean, I guess it's just that's the drop-off, really.
I don't know if Royal Jelly is that good. Like,
great. What are you talking about?
It's a bit hard to say how good it is. I mean, yeah, if you love Jelly... Ocean Heart is...
What do you mean if you like? Who doesn't like Jelly? Psychopaths, that's who. Top or bottom lane, I should say. Telekinesis onto the Razor, into the Burrow Strike, and the Sunstrike. Nope, wasn't enough to finish him off, but Mind Control still ends up getting the kill nonetheless. Hesta Joe in the meantime, the dual target first of the game. It's going to be close, but they will get the dual victory for him. 10 damage in tow now. So good TP support, but...
opens up top.
That's true.
I think Razor has to go top now. When you TP across the map with Legion like this, Legion is stuck, and Razor will more than likely be TPing top straight away. He needs to be careful though. This matchup at this point, when Ursa's level 7, you're not necessarily just able to go and link. Weehaw with a little bit of fail jump. Okay, he's going to turn around now. Let's see. Not extending this time though.
This Harpy was changed, right? It was nerfed a bit, I believe. The mana capacity is a lot lower now, but it has a little mana regen, I believe. Disruptor taken out. Hesta Joe on the run. Burrow Strike in about 5 seconds. Tornado very
that was
short.
A very measly tornado.
Yeah,
okay.
That was,
GH, you wanna miss a spell too? He didn't. He couldn't. He didn't have the option of missing a spell. So.
Yeah. Only level 2 Burrow Strike. That's hard to catch up to.
Yeah, I think either there are 2 chances there, right, for Sand Either he walks through the V-line and gets vision, and then there's a chance that there's a turnaround play, and he can't even reach, or he just hopes that the hero ran in the tree line and that the stun connects. So that looks worse than it actually was. It's fine.
Looks to be a trade. of outposts, which has been the relative norm in this qualifier so far. I'm a little bit surprised that teams haven't been trying to get a little bit greedier at this point in the game with those, to try to maybe get like a smoke gank going on the side of the map that you perhaps haven't really taken. I'm guessing you have not been surprised by the, I guess you can call it more passive strat.
I think it's hard to get both of the first outposts at the same time.
It is hard, yes.
It is possible with the right coordination, especially if you're facing a type of lineup that isn't strong at protecting zones right now. Like if they have a really greedy hero, like Alchemist or whatever. But it's hard to make the right hero split. You need a lot of information, right? Because let's say you split 2 and 3. And the enemy team has like 4 on one shrine. Whichever of your 2 or 3 man squads goes there dies and loses the fight. So,
oh dear, the duel comes out. It's not going to be a successful one, but Weehaw is surrounded by enemies, and Disruptor was the target of choice, but he's not going to be able to find it, so it will cause his death. A little bit weird to see him on that side of the map, but I'm sure he had
some smoke. Mind Control also died before this to, I believe, the Razor.
Ooh, another glimpse into the kinetic field. Such a strong combination. And GH did steal Refraction, but will only delay the inevitable, as the tier 1 tower looks to be taken out as well. As Razor actually gets killed in the top lane.
He went for the Chen, but got punished by Sanking. Overall, this last minute is still really good for Singularity. They're going to get the mid tower here. Okay, they're going to let it get denied. That's still fine.
It's initiated on, but kinetic field at arm's length. Farther than arm's length, in fact. Looks like Urn was picked up by the Grimstroke. DD is available in the bot lane. I have a random thought I was wanting to run by you. You know, the more we watch this patch, the more we play this patch. I don't know how you feel. I always feel like I have these thoughts that come into my head, like, oh, what if I put this in instead? Like, what if they rebalance this, or whatever the case may be? I don't know if you've had this issue when playing. I tend to get a little bit annoyed that I kind of forget to buy TP sometimes. And because you used to be able to, I don't know, something feels different in the TP department. I would love for TPs to be available at the outpost if you control it. What do you think? Just say you like it.
I think it should have a canteen.
A what?
Yeah, you should be a canteen at the outpost, and you can go out and buy like a burger.
Oh, like a fat burger or a true burger? What kind of burger? It really depends.
Burger with a TP scroll.
The tier 1
burger with a TP menu. $5.
Man, a Dota themed restaurant. That actually sounds incredible.
That sounds like that would work in very few countries.
I mean, that's probably true. If you did that in the US, nobody would know what the hell you're talking about, but it does sound cool nonetheless. All right, mind control with the blink dagger. And they have smoked up. Of course, has the buckler as well. Rubik with a trusty shovel. They're gonna run.
He already dug up one bounty.
The Grimstroke.
Oh, that's a good ward. That's a good ward. Sorry, we got it recently.
I hear the Sand King ult proccing into the Legion Commander, and Weehaw with Sunstrike as well, able to take him out with those Fury swipes. No, we're gonna have the Grimstroke ult come into play now as TP comes in from Zitrak, so they're gonna be able to clean up the Rubik and the Chen. So despite losing the Legion Commander, able to take out both supports in quick succession, as they're paying the living daylights out of this mini-map right now. Okay,
losing all his creeps in the tree line as well.
At least he expended all his mana.
Nice soulbind. Set that up very easily. And I think the start of that move from Nigma was really good when they got their first kill. And they got Hestajo. I think you just retreat and try to push the creeps instead of staying between the towers. That might have been a little bit too greedy. And now it's actually going to cost them. This will be a really big or a talking point for this game for both teams is they can both kill Roach. One team has TA and the other one has Ursa. So you need to deal with this area very well. Nice glimpse, sends GH all the way packing, and that should be Roach.
Legion pretty low. Mind control comes in with the burrow strike, but Zitrax here to help his teammate out. Testo did fall. Roshan is very low. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. Excalibur does get the Aegis as well as the Roshan kill. We're not going to have all this pressure to Excalibur now, so this looks to be a consumed Aegis here very shortly, but Zitrax has something to say about that. The field goes up, and he dies shortly after. Aegis does get consumed. Double buyback from Singularity. And Team Nigma only losing the Sand King right now. So despite losing Roshan, win this fight quite heavily.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Honestly, that was pretty fine for Nigma, I think. Forcing, it was, one of the buybacks was Raider, and he kind of came into the fight too late, so... Probably a marginal win for them, even though they lose the Roche. The biggest thing there, if Singularity could have maintained Aegis and got that trade-off, I would have been pretty happy if I'm them. But losing the Aegis immediately just means you didn't really gain any advantage for the coming 5 minutes. The Aegis could have been super useful in getting maybe mid-tier 2 tower or top tier 2. Double damage, probably goes to Miracle, and okay, it's bad.
Oh boy,
that's real bad.
Into the Epi, and TA does get press the attack, but she is done so. Looks like an item actually dropped, a Dragon Scale, and I believe, yeah, it was stolen by Team Nigma.
Oh, it was found by, he nuked the camp and killed the creeps, and then
that always feels bad when you're at a wide range, you take out the creeps, and down you go.
Do you think that's good, the way it works? That you can just randomly have a fight next to a neutral camp, and whoever coincidentally kills the camp with spells, then you can just get stolen and ruin the item?
That makes competition fun, Cinderin. Of course. Stealing is the most fun you could ever have.
Okay.
Use that advice at home, guys. Actually, I do have a question, though. You know how the items will not drop if a hero is not nearby?
Yeah.
Like, what if, like, Invoker sunstrikes a creep, and an enemy is near the camp? And does the item drop?
I guess it does.
Are you sure?
No. That's why I say I guess. If I was sure, I would say yes.
I mean, I guess it's true.
There you go. There's some more language for you. We've been doing great today on that.
Thank you. I really
learning.
Appreciate the lessons here today, my friend. Disruptor, mind control.
Yeah.
All right. Burrow strike, the sun strike, and that's an easy one.
Pop.
You know, I'm actually really disappointed in you that you don't like my TP scroll idea. Don't you miss TP scroll side shop? Like, is it just me?
Well, everybody has a courier, so
yeah, still,
you know, it's already pretty easy to get TPs out to yourself if you really want them.
Couriers are pretty freaking slow, Cinderin. Come on.
Listen, everybody gets a courier, and now you're complaining about your courier too. Like, come on,
just
man. What
put
do
a
you
TP
want?
scroll. That's not a big deal.
I think you should be able to buy everything everywhere on the map because the courier is slow.
Well, I am of the opinion that the secret shop is a little outdated, personally, but that's a whole nother conversation entirely. Looks like Kuroki and Company.
I don't know. I wouldn't be mad at it if you could get TPs in the outpost.
Of course you wouldn't.
That's okay. It's
How about
okay.
we add 80 items?
I don't think it's great.
62.
I don't think it's like, hell yeah, Sunsfan, let's do it. You know.
The quality of life is
okay.
the new Dota. Please, I'm begging you. For all us scrubs out there that don't want to buy TP scrolls at base anymore. The courier usage is... The donkeys need to have a rest sometime, Cinderin. Looks like he's going to be taking out this tier 2 tower with 0 defense from Singularity. Are you surprised at all that Hesajo hasn't gone for Blink yet? He's going straight for Pipe right now.
I actually don't know how good Pipe is this game. Because there's clearly a lot of stuff that it's good against, right? Invoker does a lot of magic damage, so does Sanking, so does Rubik. But I don't know if it solves the inherent problem of can they get on top of the heroes and kill them. I think maybe both Blade and Dagger would have been nicer just so they can start a fight and take it on their terms. Because they will run into this problem where it takes maybe too long for the Radiant lineup to ramp up damage, right? TA has Burst, which is nice, but Razor, it takes time. He's the static link to be running on a target to build up the damage. And in the meantime, they're playing into Hand of God and Mech. You kind of need to be able to kill heroes quickly, or you lose on the regen, I feel. Just to sustain. I don't know if the Pipe is going to get the job done. Overall, his game is also very weak right now. He's level 9, compared to Mind Control's 13.5 on the other side. So.
But Cinderin, at level 10, guess what he can get.
Yeah, he can get an XP
Just take a
talent.
wild, very good guess. Thank you.
Thank you. That was not a guess.
20 minutes. Oh, actually, Team Nigma will
Double
get both
outpost. Oh boy, that's big.
That is big. Hesta Joe could really have used that level 10. Oh,
Yep.
unfortunate for him. He's kind of just meandering around his jungle.
And even better, he could have been level 10 and then got an outpost.
Yeah, that's the dream right there. Boy, oh boy. I'm sure he'll find his way back. Disruptor able to get the glimpse. Here's the duel, and Kuroki will be killed. Very close. Damage.
Are they gonna run down more?
That's
Glimpse in 10. He has 4 staff. No. Nice.
Well, let's see how Weehaw fares this game. Did go the mana talent again, but he will not have the essence. Well, we'll see, actually. Maybe it'll drop for him again. That did seem to help quite a bit in terms of his just spamming Earthshock over and over.
Notice, by the way, that... Did you mention that Miracle rushed Ags?
Sure did, but Mind Control gets off the epicenter into the Sunstrike Excalibur at half HP. Getting very low. Pops the BKB finally. Will apply all his pressure to Mind Control, who gets healed up by Kuroki. Looks like they'll finally pick up that kill. GH looks to be dead as well. So 2-0 to start this fight. Weehaw getting dueled, and he might get the damage out of this. Be close. Nope.
Nice
Able
link.
to kite him as usual. 3-0 now. As Singularity win that fight pretty damn big. And Invoker, yeah, with the Aghanim Scepter. So you get the Cataclysm now.
Yeah, you get Cataclysm, and it's cool with a double, with it like a 2 or 3 man Sand stun. But right now, I don't know if this is the item you want to buy. So for those unfamiliar with the new Invoker, you get lower cooldown on Invoke every time you level up an orb, and the maximum decrease in cooldown you can have is up to 0.7 before Octarine. So you can have 0.7 second cooldown Invoker or Invoke by having all your orbs maxed out, and all Ags does is make your Sunstrike into Cataclysm, so the old talent on level 20.
Wait, does it give you the
Cataclysm
choice?
is amazing.
Or does it become Cataclysm? I guess you get the choice still, right?
You get the choice, yeah. I mean, Cataclysm is amazing. I'm not going to deny it's an incredible spell. I don't know if this is the timing you want to have it, right? Is Cataclysm good at 20 minutes in? Can you rely on your Sand King to hit 2 or 3 man stuns that give you Sunstrike kills? Don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I feel like there's other builds, perhaps, that could be better in this game. Like, positioning items are amazing against Razor and TA, right? Like, having Blink Force is something Miracle has done in the past. And now that you don't punish yourself by not having spells to invoke, you can get way more creative, in my opinion, with your Invoker item builds. Whereas in the past, you would kind of, you know, always default to Ags as Exort.
I mean, when I first... Oh, we're going to see a glimpse here onto GH.
Oh, quick blink. They didn't follow up on it. Oh, they got greedy.
Away they go.
Oh, boy.
Well, greed will be your downfall.
Yes, it will.
Miracle
Downfall
gets
DNZ at least.
EMP. And there's the double burrow strike, and that is a very dead Grimstroke. The fight commences, though. Weehaw getting pounded upon by Zitrex. Pops that ult, is very fast. A lot of damage was stolen. They're going to be able to clean up Mind Control, so it's a 1-for-1 to start this fight. As the glimpse finally... again, GH able to blink. Goodness. Just getting these off so quickly. Miracle still has the Sunstrike. Gets off the Cold Snap as well. Oh my god. That was hilarious. And now they're going to get the Tornado on top of Hesta Joe. The buyback onto Disruptor. Not going to get here in time, though.
Bit of a panic buyback. He didn't even have a tower support on. That
very interesting.
Is not happening. Yeah, so since Miracle has bought his Ags, he has not used Cataclysm yet. I'll pay attention to it. But it's been 4 or 5 minutes. I think he's used 5 Sunstrikes and no Cataclysms. So I don't know.
We'll notice when Cataclysm is cast. It's all over the map, you know.
Does he know?
We got it. Maybe it's the old one. All right, Hesta Joe back in the game. I mean, it is technically possible. Weehaw glimpse back into the pit, but we'll just hop on out like the little bunny rabbit he is. That means we need a bunny rabbit cosmetic for Ursa. Somebody get on that immediately. Excalibur gets burrow struck. Weehaw pops ult. There comes the tomato, or the meatball, I should say, even better. Grimstroke able to get the ult off. Weehaw very hard to kill right now. Finally drops. And the double duel comes in tow as Hesta Joe and company able to clean up a couple of members of Team Nigma. So a good fight for them, but it did cost them some buybacks. Although they don't
Yeah,
show
who did
up on
they
this
buy
graph.
back? They bought back the Disruptor prematurely, and then this time they brought back Legion in the fight. Oh, GH, Miracle. They're gonna try. Alright, he just press. He'll be okay. Maybe not.
That Cataclysm, son. Oh, okay.
Okay, not okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this possibility that he doesn't know that it gives Cataclysm now. He knows now, right? He must know.
It's like, I mean, we have been playing mid, right? This might be Miracle's first Invoker game with a new patch, for all we know. Yeah, no.
Wow, that's so. I mean, when I first read the changes, I figured that the Aghanims would not be a core item anymore at all. Like it would be more of a luxury, like a third item, or even like a drop or something like that. Not
and
that
well, in the
Cataclysm
perfect
is
game,
bad,
I
but-
still think you could get it, right? Like if you play with a Chrono or some sort of big AoE lockdown that's reliable, Ravage, maybe you could get axed with that. But just with a sinking stun, I don't know.
Then you're playing more of a, I don't want to call it a support invoker, but it's not like, I don't know, it feels like you're missing something in terms
You
of
have
like
less
the mobility.
individual play potential, I think. That's the trade-off.
Now, here's the thing that would be interesting is, I don't know if this is OP, but what if Aghanims gave Cataclysm as an entirely different spell to Sunstrike? Sunstrike is just its own thing.
How would
Is
you
there a reason they're combined?
Is under attack.
That's true. What if you invoke Sunstrike and you get, I don't know, that's too complicated. Invoker's complicated enough.
If you invoke Sunstrike and you're at the outpost, then you have Cataclysm as a separate spell, but only next to the outpost.
And you have to be facing a specific direction into the outpost itself. Very important.
And if you have a burger, you have two Cataclysms.
Of course. I mean, that's just the American way. Double the pleasure, you know. Makes sense. Quickening Charm picked up by Ursa. That will, I would say Invoker should probably get that, but we'll see.
Oh, Quickening Charm?
Is it like... Yeah. Was it, who was it given to?
I think Ursa has it for now. No, he passed it on to Rubik, I guess? Yeah, Rubik's carrying it, but he's not using it yet. Alright, Miracle. He's getting so much info right now. Oh boy. Citrax. He should get Cataclysm right now on that stun. Well, they were expecting the force step, I guess.
The attack keeps him alive. A nice ult from Grimstroke again. I think he'll be able to capitalize on this, though, as Weehaw applies all his pressure to Zitrax. Pop that BKB, that's not doing it too much good here against the right clicks of that fat, juicy bear with the cowboy hat. And now Grimstroke looks to be dead as well. So a 2-for-0 to start this fight, as GH looking for more. Disruptor ends up getting the glimpse out, but Weehaw's here along with Mind Control. And that is going to be a double kill
nice,
for Weehaw.
Actually, that Ursa can do that now. He can jump into kinetic field.
Right.
So I guess he can jump out of it. Have we seen him jump out of it yet?
I've seen it a few times, but I don't know if it was fully formed yet. I just assumed it was not fully formed, but it might have been.
It's nice that he can choose to jump into it. That's pretty cool.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Miracle has yet to use Cataclysm, by the way. I'm going to say he doesn't know. I mean, what other reason would you get Aghanims?
He might not have felt like there's a situation where he could use Cataclysm well because of the Force Staff, right, on the end of the team. But
We'll see if he uses it once by the end of this game. Sunstrike, so no. Still has
Cataclysm
not.
also
Okay, there's no way
has
he
a
does.
longer cooldown. There is a trade-off, right?
Cinderin, you don't buy Ags then. I'm sorry, there's no way you buy Ags.
Radiant's bottom
Is he winning or are you
Use
winning?
Cataclysm once.
Shane, who's winning here?
I'm winning. I'm pretty sure I'm winning right now.
Yep.
This argument.
It's the American mentality. It's all about winning. It actually doesn't matter. Okay, GH has 10 TPs, by the way. That's probably the world record.
Radiant's middle tower.
Wow, that is pretty nice.
Yeah. Sometimes
See,
you
he
just
thinks the same
dig in
thing
the
as
ground.
me.
It's like, you know, what's that thing called where you go at the beach and then you have a metal... Is a metal detector? Is that just what you call it? The one where you're like... that's kind of what the
it's
shovel
a-
feels like
a
to me. It's just
paper
Grandpa's out with his shovel and he just keeps finding fucking TP scrolls. Like, I wish I found a gem, but you always just find TP scroll.
Not a literal gem, but bounty hunt is what you really
Oh, gross,
Kuroki getting
man.
initiated on. He's going to pop his ult, staying alive for now. Weehaw getting drained. Mask of Madness popped as well. Zitrax doing a lot of damage, but that is just the Aegis. Chen buys back into the game, see if he can get into the fray or not. GH kind of stuck in the trees here. Looks like he's going to go down as the Grimstroke ult comes out as well. The fight continues as Razor getting applied all the pressure from Weehaw. He is continuing to own right now. A dual
Ursa
target
is dangerous.
it is, but Weehaw's very low. Nobody's going to win the duel, and both heroes will die pretty much simultaneously. And now Miracle looks to be on the run as Singularity has numbers. Let's get the Ghost Walk off. Excalibur just needs another right click, but they're not going to get vision. So away he goes.
Dieback on
And hey,
Burrow?
Kuroki made it back to the battle. Absolutely.
I'm back.
that is a dieback.
Miracle. Okay, buddy.
I'm here to help. And then dies immediately. So a nice fight from Singularity. Did cost a buyback on the Zitrax, but I mean, you'll take it.
Not too bad. They lost a lane of barracks too, but it's an overall gold gain, and I think there was a lot of experience in that fight for them too. And obviously, should always keep an eye out for heroes reaching level 25 and especially level 30. TA now level 23 coming up, and the 25 on TA is big. Oh, GH might have just gotten self-killed to get this outpost, and that's a big death. That's a dieback if he dies here.
Is it?
He has no mana on Disruptor for the glimpse.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
What an absolute boss.
Nice little tip.
Oh, I love this. I want to commend Hestajo on this. He actually tipped an enemy player for a good play and not for fucking up. Good job.
Yeah,
I love that. I like when people use the tip to actually say well played when they made a good play. And that was a good play from GH.
In my life.
He checked them on Disruptor and knew he couldn't glimpse, so he had to TP out. That was well played indeed.
All right.
I'll clap to that.
Cataclysm watch, ladies and gentlemen.
Good sportsmanship. We don't have so much of that anymore, so gotta applaud it when it's there. When the game incentivizes people to talk shit. Always appreciate some good spirits, you know?
I mean, are you saying you don't tip people
I don't offensive tip.
in an aggressive manner? What's that?
I don't really think so. If I do, I think it's because it's friends, right? Like people I know well.
Well, then you're not
it's like poking fun at your it's like poking fun at your friends, but I don't know. It's a bit of a how to say? It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. This offensive tipping. I know a lot of people love it, and I understand completely why people like it. I just think it's a bit
Because they're pieces of shit. That's what you're implying.
not
I know
really.
what that tone is. No, I know your tone,
really.
Cinderin. I understand.
You're a piece of
what you
shit.
mean.
That's something else, though.
Well,
You probably
that is
tip
something
everybody
else.
all the time.
No, I actually don't.
You're the
Only
kind
they-
of you tip your teammate when he picks a hero you didn't want him to, or something.
That's
like
not
that.
true, Cinderin. I would never do such a thing. I'm a very good teammate. Oh,
Okay.
all right. That is a static
He's
storm from
completely
Disruptor.
alone.
He is. I think there was definitely some miscommunication. They wanted to fight, but
yeah,
not able to. He has buyback available.
Sunstrike.
Ursa going for... Oh, the Sunstrike bomb! Double kill for Miracle. Still no Cataclysm in case you were wondering. Burrow Strike comes into play as well. Razor gets off the BKB. See if the buyback comes from Disruptor. And of course, he doesn't have Static Storm, so I guess his use is a bit limited. As Miracle Company now going for the tier 3 middle. There's the buyback on Disruptor. Static Storm off for another 30 plus seconds. Weeha still has the 8-second BKB right now. And Miracle, in case, again, just to remind you guys, still has Cataclysm available. We have Ice Wall coming in now. Weeha jumps in, going for Zitrax, I should say. This would be an essential dieback, and it essentially is 110 seconds on the deck. And the next looks to be Legion Commander as Team Nigma look to be taking this series, although it's not quite over yet, I suppose. They do have that bottom lane of Rax. Looking for this mid now. Alacrity was applied to Weeha. That's a good way to take these buildings. Fortification. GH has Boots of Travel. I did not even notice that. But
He travels in, gets glimpsed, and now he gets summoned by Chen. I think they accounted. They accounted. I know they have to TP, so you can do that.
Make him use his glimpse. Oh man, that is another death here. This time for Grimstroke. Nice static storm onto 3 heroes, but not going to be a whole lot of follow-up. Duel is available to use. Weeha stunning Excalibur and decimated. It took like 5 right clicks to take him out. Good God, Weeha, and still no Cataclysm in case.
Oh, there it is!
Finally, he does it! I can't believe it. It's the GG maker for Miracle. A triple
He
kill,
knew
an
it.
ultra kill now for Weeha.
Look, he knew it, Shannon. He knew I'm gonna end the game
Give me
with
a
this spell. The
break.
game-ending play.
He knows now. I think somebody finally looked at his inventory. Kuroki's like, what the fuck? Why do you have an Aghanim Scepter? Have you used Cataclysm? How long have you had that? It's like, oh, I forgot.